under what kind of powers are you defending this whole venture?
What policy is being used? What law is being used in order for this to happen?
Well, first of all, Mr. Moderator and the audience, the idea of saying that a single officer or a cocoon of officers can sit down here with a cocoon of some fellows in Trinidad and commit a whole government and the population of Uganda to this kind of thing, that's not possible.
Okay, so under what law is this being done? Or under what kind of arrangement?
Under bilateral arrangements. What we mean by bilateral arrangements here is that we have areas of cooperation. We sign memoranda of understanding. We say we are going to cooperate in health sector, oils. By the way, we are only talking about health here, but Trinidad is also dealing with us in oil and other things.
So
right?
we are clear, it's bilateral, so both sides should benefit. So Trinidad and Tobago is getting health workers. What's Uganda getting?
It does not necessarily mean that when you give me 5 doctors, I give you 5 doctors.
Yes, so what is Uganda getting?
Means you can give me 5 doctors, right?
Yes.
I can give you 5 oil experts.
Okay, so are we getting oil experts in exchange? Is that what it is?
Not only that.
Yes.
There is a whole spectrum of things.
Of other things. Okay, let's take another question. Let's take somebody else. I have a lady at the back. Yes, madam.
My name is Luiga Freda Mwanje from the White Ribbon Alliance for Safe Motherhood.
Yes, please.
My question goes to Ambassador Mohindo. I'm wondering, did you actually do a risk-benefit analysis to understand the impact of this medical brain drain to the health workforce? And if so, did the benefits outweigh the risks or the disadvantages?
Actually, it would be good to look at that report as well.
The risk-benefit analysis has been done. We are actually mapping it against the surplus of medical workers that we have here.
Surplus of medical workers.
Whom we have not been able to absorb in our system.
Dr.
Because before we ask all these questions, ladies and gentlemen, we should ask the fundamental question. Why are we producing people, doctors, nurses, and Nakasongola has no doctors? And we only start talking about it when we hear that these doctors want to go away. Secondly, the doctors, nurses, midwives have been going anyway.
Dr. Barwemunsi, do we have a surplus of medical workers, doctors, nurses, midwives?
I don't think. There are some policy gaps within the recruitment and deployment. But you see, not all health workers have to be on the government payroll. They may not be employed by government, but maybe they are running private clinics here and there, but they are serving Ugandans.
We are talking about those who are sitting at home.
And that's why...
What happens to them? Didn't they go to school?
Let Dr. Barwemunsi respond.
That's why this matter should have been discussed by Cabinet, which has a bigger view of the country, and maybe Parliament. Okay. Rather than Minister of Foreign Affairs working, if I would say, secretly with the Minister of Health, although Minister of Health has denied involvement, and then you commit the country. I think this matter should be brought back to Cabinet, to Parliament, because there are wide-ranging ramifications of this kind of a decision. And
Dr. Barwemunsi, since we find ourselves in this situation, what can be done? Let's start with you, and then we'll take the other two gentlemen. This is the situation we are in. What should be done?
First of all, I think this should be halted for now, and it should be discussed by the relevant authorities, namely Cabinet and Parliament, so that we can pronounce ourselves on this. Because we may take it as a small matter, but to me, it's a very big policy measure which some few individuals are committing the country to, and yet should be discussed. I agree, government must address the issue of motivating health workers, recruiting them and retaining them, and that should be the immediate priority, to ensure that Nakasongola has a doctor and all these other communities, rather than rushing to send our doctors and health workers outside. While it might be beneficial for the individual health workers because they will get better pay, but I think in terms of policy, government should distance itself as of now from this kind of measure, because countries all over, especially in Africa, are all working towards retaining their own health workers and even attracting health workers who have gone outside. So it is quite strange for our government to be thinking of sending away health workers. When you read the Ministry of Health documents, one of the key challenges we have is actually lack of human resource. So it is quite contradictory and very strange that you address this by sending the health workers away. So I would appeal that this measure should be stopped, and then we debate it and we look at it afresh.
All right, Justinian, very quickly, a last word from you.
Yes, I agree.
You agree with Dr. Baryomosi?
Okay. The Honourable Member of Parliament that we should halt this process, but let this be an opportunity for us to consider comprehensive healthcare reform. Where we have deficits and there's a surplus of workers, then we should meet this need. But for now, it is irrational to export health workers to Trinidad and Tobago.
All right. Finally, Ambassador, are these suggestions that you would take up?
These are very well, you know, in Uganda, we are good at talking. I can assure you that if the Ministry of Foreign Affairs had not done this, we would not even be here in this hall. Nobody would know that there are health workers who have qualifications and they are seated at home. Nobody would know that there are all these doctors, and Nakasongola, you can't even get a doctor. But we wait, you see. Now Parliament has something to talk about. Now all of a sudden, think tanks are mushrooming from somewhere. But before you do this, they will sit there as if everything is going on normally. So, for us,
that's not correct. If you have followed the debates in Parliament, on radios, this matter of healthcare in Uganda has been widely debated.
We need to bring this show to an end.
It hasn't begun with this kind of.
So for me, I agree with what these gentlemen are saying, if it is practical, if it can be done. But to say that we are going to halt this process, that is another question.
All right, perfect. We've come to the end of the show today, but this debate continues on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you for being a part of the show. This country belongs to you, and you administer it through your Member of Parliament and other elected leaders. So let your Member of Parliament actually hear your say. Thank you for watching our Parliament. I'm Meguma Gabriel. Until next time, God bless Uganda.